and the Francis Dykes Memorial Bonspiel. At our 8:45 draw this morning, we have Team Eaton from the Ardsley Curling Club coming up against one of our home teams, Spartacus, skipped by Jay Atkinson. This is a second round A event match. Both teams are coming off wins on Thursday evening. The Eaton rink won their first game over the Curling Club of Virginia 13-3, and Spartacus won in a squeaker last Thursday night 5-4 against a Philly club. One note for everyone watching the games this morning: I will not have access to viewing the chat, so anyone who has any comments or questions directed towards us, I apologize, we will not be able to respond to those, but please talk amongst yourselves, and we will keep you abreast of all the other games going on the other sheets. So, the players are heading out to the ice. They're going to do their first slides. We'll do the coin toss, decide who's going to throw in hammer and color, and then we will start the game soon. So sit back and enjoy. And if you're at work watching this, don't get caught. Well, the teams on Sheet B are doing their slides. We'll let you know what's going on with the other games. On Sheet A this morning, we have the Hamilton rink from the Curling Club of Virginia going against Machino from Philadelphia. That is a B event game. In Sheet C, we have Team Smith from Potomac going up against Brennan from Schenectady. That is an A event game. And on Sheet D, we have Citrini from the Utica Curling Club going up against Church from the Merrimack Valley Curling Club. That is a B event game. We're about to start here. It appears that Spartacus has lost the toss, and they will be throwing the cherries. Eaton will be throwing the lemons with the hammer in the first end. This is Jody Ratty throwing lead stones for Spartacus, and we are away. Jay calling for a center guard. Sweepers are on it. Now they're off. Pretty much a good sign there.
That was like a heavy draw. That was halfway. Yes. Slow. Well, it's not full speed, but it's not bad.
Here's Alex Zick for his first stone for the rink. He doesn't like it. He thinks it's wide. I don't. I think it's going to settle in okay. Nice controlled weight hit there for Mr. Zick. Shooter goes into the 12-foot. And Mr. Atkinson likes that shot out, so Jody's going to go for the hit. Jody's rock is away. That's got to move. Jody's trying to put some English on it. It's starting to cut now. Looking pretty nice. Nice hit by Jody. And the shooter spills. So Jody's shooter rolled just to the back end of the tee line. The wedge that the Eaton rink is going to try and settle right on it. Or just tap it back just a touch. It's a little bit heavy. Nor is it moving. It's gonna flash through the house. Yeah, a little too heavy there. Even if he still flashes that, he still has to remember today is a work day and he is not there. So he can sit here and have a good game, enjoy the tournament, like what I'm doing. Here's Mark Lawrence's first shot for Spartacus. It's like Jay just wants it splitting the house. An interesting tactic when you don't have the hammer, but nonetheless. A little too much mustard there for Mark. That's going to sail out. So the Ardsley rink is going to get a second chance at that stone. Gonna freeze right to it. That's the right call. The gentleman throwing second rocks is actually Josh Friedman, who is from the Potomac Curling Club. I'm wagering he's taking the place of Paul Sabrin. If I am incorrect, whoever's on the chat with the Ardsley Club can just make the correction. Here comes Josh's first stone. It's got to come over too, and it does. It's going to chip it out, and both are going to slide out of the house. Now we've got an empty house. Jay likes top 12 or center guard. It's the right call. Just want to make sure Mark can take his draw weight down just a touch since he was really heavy on the first one. And the rock's away. Nice release by Mark. Line looks pretty good from here. Sweepers, oh, here we go. Now they're trying to finish it for weight. He's looking nice. Pretty much right where he wanted it. It's biting the 12 foot. Just barely. So Andy's calling for the hit. Wipe that one away. Ooh, it looks narrow. They got him on there pretty quickly. It's starting to fade away. Can they hold it? And they can. Very nice sweeping by Ardsley there. And the shooter is going to bite the 12 foot. That's a pesky little bugger out there. We'll see if that's going to come into play during the rest of the game, or the rest of the end. See, that shot turned out pretty well for Josh. Comes the mad scientist Jeff Lee, ready for his first stone. That's light and narrow. That's not where you wanted it. Tough break for Jeff there. Oh, that's a hog stone. It's tough to see whether or not you can hog it from the far end of the glass. Maybe Jeff is still waking up from yesterday. Eaton Rink's going to do a draw to the other side of the house, split the house real wide. Things looking pretty nice to at least set up for 2 for the Ardsley rink. If he gets it in. This one looks hot. Jay working on hard to sweep that out of the house, and he's successful. Got to commend the ice crew today, Jim D'Onofrio and of course Ken Ray, the hardest working man at the Potomac Curling Club, for pebbling and nipping and scraping all this morning. Normally first ends are a little bit slow here at this club, but given all the flashes and throw-throughs thrown today, I'd wager it's keening up already. Starting to fall off that line. See where that guy's going to wind up. We're holding it. It's going to just chip it out. Nice shot by Jeff. Good sweeping by Mark and Jody to hold that line. And now their shooter is biting the 12-foot. Eaton calling for a corner freeze on the 12-foot. Ray Olmer's second shot for the Ardsley Curling Club rink. That's also fallen off like Jeff's shot. And yet again, the Ardsley, the front end is doing a nice job holding that line. It's going to come just to the other side, though. Not exactly where they wanted it. But at least they prevented it from falling off the table. And touches the sideline. It's out of bounds. So Spartacus is looking pretty good right now. They've got one rock on the far side of the 12-foot, about half in. Looks like Jay's going to call for the split. This is Jay Atkinson, if anybody remembers from last year's Dykes, was the skip of the C event winning team. That game that went into an extra end and was won by a measurement. It was the nail biter of all nail biters as far as 500 curling is concerned. Scott Brennan saying in all seriousness, calling for his shot over there. So here comes Jay's first rock. Sweepers are on it for weight. And now they're still working hard on it. Looks good from this vantage point. That one's going to flash too. This is not something you normally see at the National Capital Curling Center in the first end with all these throw-throughs. Typically you're leaving them really short here in the first end. But again, got to commend Ken and Jim for putting together some nice pebbles. Wager Andy's going to go for the hit. Doesn't really matter where the shooter rolls. If it rolls into the house, I'm sure Jay will have to go after it. If it rolls out of the house, Jay will probably draw, and then Andy will, I would wager, try to blank the end. And the block is away. Yes! Guys are on it for line, sweeping real hard. Looks like they just flashes through by a whisker. Tough break for Ardsley. Jay's going to do the exact same shot again, split him up to the other side of the house. Jay's second stone. Just looking to put one in the paint. far away from the other red rock as possible. Split that house. Make Andy choose whether to hit or whether to draw. That was going to go into the back house. Is it going to stick around? And it is going to stick around in the back 12. Huh. Well, it depends on Andy's comfort, how comfortable he is with drawing, or if he's comfortable with what he's going to do with hitting. Could always just draw, starting from the center and head out to the right side of the sheet. Maybe use that for a little bit of backing. I mean, all he has to do is get most of the 12 foot, and he should be safe. So he's got a big target to work on. Looks like that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So there's Andy Eaton with the hammer, drawing against 2 in the first end. And the stone's away. Screws are really hitting it hard. Really hitting that thing hard. It's looking pretty nice. And that is going to sail, biting the 8 foot for 1. And after 1, nice draw there by Mr. Eaton. The score is 1-0. Eaton over Spartacus after the first end. Calling for a center line guard. Sweepers are on it.
Up. Great shot.
Very nice center line guard there thrown by Ardsley. Scoring update on sheet A. Their first end has concluded. Hamilton stole 1 in the first, so the score is 1-0 Hamilton over Machino. Is that going to sail through? It most certainly is. Another throw through in the first end. Scoring update on sheet D. The first end is over there, and Utica gets 3 in the first, so that makes it 3-0. Utica, the Citrini rink over Merrimack Valley, that's the church rink. Comes Ardsley's second rock through their lead. Alex Zick. Pretty nice come around behind that slightly off center guard. Jay's hitting it really hard to get it out of there. I think it's going to stick around. It's going to bite just a piece of the 12 foot. Jay wants to come around that just slightly off center guard.
Yes.
Comes Jody's second stone. Playing the come around.
Yep. Yeah. Hard, guys. Hard. Take this out. Line's okay. Take
Might have been overswept a little bit for weight. And again, it really seems to be carrying. No, it's going to stick around, but it's going to be behind the tee line. It is shot rock, but it's now in the 8 foot. And of course, Eaton's going to come right down and sit on it. Josh Friedman's first stone in the second in. Playing the come around, going to try and sit right on that red rock that was just thrown by Jody Reddy. It looks pretty good from this vantage point. Sweepers are dragging it. This is going to be pretty nice. Very nice. Gets a little separation there. Maybe a little heavier than he wanted to, but nonetheless, sitting shot, sitting 1-2. And red has been taken out. Jay's calling for a hack weight tap on the red, the yellow. Probably thinks it's too far back to being worth even sitting on, because if he sits on it, I'm sure Andy will call the exact same shot. Maybe if he gets it to the right angle, he can hit them both out.
Yep. Yep.
Looking narrow here. Sweepers are really on it hard for line. I think it's going to crash on that guard. And it does. Guard and shooter spillaway. And he's going to pull him right up into the center. He's calling top 12. Protect what he has in the house already. Update on sheet C. Schenectady got a touchdown. That's right, 6 points. So it's 6-0. Schenectady over the Nick Smith rink from Potomac. It's pretty heavy, especially for a 12-foot. It's going to sail probably to the back 8, back 12. Maybe through if Jay hits it really hard. All right, that's back 12. Got a nice triangle going here. You know, if he hits that just flush on, he could probably get at least a 2 in the back. Yeah, I like that call, Jay. It just says hit it hard. So Mark's going to put some mustard on this and try to pop out at as many as he possibly can. Again, looking narrow. Jody and Jeff are working on that really hard. Doesn't seem to have much handle either. So he's going to hit something. Okay, 2 are going to pop out. The 2 that were actually closest to the button. All in all, really nice shot by Mark. Weight was nice. Line was nice.
Hard for a piece.
Andy calling for just another, I guess, a vertical split of the house. Getting away from the biter in the back 12.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Let's see.
Comes Ray Ulmer with his first stone.
Put it over here. Okay.
And the rock is away.
No, never mind. Yep. Full 12, okay?
Sweepers are pounding that really, really hard for weight. They're doing a nice job. He wants full 12. I think if they really work hard on it, there's a chance they can get it. Andy coming out to help. They're going to get it. That's a nice sweep by Josh and Alex.
Sweep.
Beautiful placement by Mr. Ulmer.
Normal.
Jay just wants to hit that out, probably roll away, or roll into the house. Here's Jeff Lee's first stone.
Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Yes. Sweet. Whoa. Yep. Yes. All right, guys.
That line you're hearing is actually coming from sheet A. That's not going to move at all. He was narrow coming out too. And there's a whiff. All right, Andy's got more of the house to work with. He's going to throw another yellow stone to the other side of the top 12.
Yes. Up. Let's move it over here.
It's going to make it on its own. Probably going to be T-line back 8. All right, not too bad. Jay wants to go and hit that. Probably double him out if he gets him on the right side.
Wait, guys. Wait only. Wait only. It's like about right here.
A line call you hear there is from Nick Smith over on the sheet C. They got the hammer and they have the house split up pretty well.
Hard for a piece. Hard for a piece.
And that rock is starting to fade.
All the way.
Rock is starting to fade way off here. I don't think they're going to be able to hold it, and it flashes through. Another break for the Eaton rink.
Go. Keep it out as long as you can. Go.
81's from top 8 on that same side that he just threw the last one.
All right, Jim. Let's put one up here, okay? Top 12. Lighter.
Again, that's Nick Smith calling his shot on sheet C. And just a reminder, that is a 6-0 first end for Schenectady. It's a shame they missed the extra point. It happens. Here comes Andy Eaton's first stone and the second end. Just looking for a 12-foot, 8-footer to the right side of the sheet. You guys are really going to have to pound this to even get it to a 2-3 guard. Line was good, leaves it very short though. Yep, that's the right call. Jay wants to sit on that shot in the 8-foot.
Down! Yes! Stay with it.
Draw in.
Jay Atkinson ready to throw his first shot of the second end. Again, we're just looking for a come around that guard and sit right on the shot rock at the 8-foot. Jody and Mark are on it really hard for weight. It looks pretty good from this vantage point. He's got to come over though. That poor guy's not going to move at all. That's going to flash. rough go so far for the back end of Spartacus. But it's only the second end. And Eaton calling just for some junk in the front. A biting guard would be ideal. You don't want to leave it too high. But yeah, top 12 or higher is where you'd like it. Here comes Andy Eaton's second shot in the second end. Again, we're just looking for a top 12 or higher, right in the center. Take the draw away for Jay Atkinson. He's got to get on it again. It's very light. Certainly not getting top 12 out of that. But you know, they pulled it pretty nicely. It's a lot closer than I thought. Nice sweeping by Josh and Alex again. That's not too bad. I think Jay still has the draw, though, to sit on that rock in the 8-foot. Would have been nice if it came over and was a little deeper. Again, we were looking for a 12-footer. Would have been playing both the role of a guard and of a scoring stone. So here's Jay with his hammer in the second end, drawing against 3. Ooh, this is going to be really close. Good non-lawn call there by Jeff. Although it's going to bump off of that. Is it going to stick around? And it is going to barely count for shot. That's a single for red. Nice touch there by Jay Atkinson. So through 2, we have a 1-1 tie. Some clutch shooting there by Jay Atkinson. Never easy to draw against 3. Never easy to get to draw against anything. Plus you had a port to go with. So all in all, off to a nice close game. Clearly they're doing this for your viewing pleasure, audience. I'll be sure to thank them when the game is over. Jody Ratty with his first stone in the third end. Looking for center guard. I think Jay also didn't mind if it was actually in the 12-foot, 8-foot. Well, it looks like it's going to coast through the house. Line's been already pretty well traveled in the first end. Huh. This is why you don't call weight from the glass on the far side of the house, because that's actually on the button. It looked pretty heavy from where I was just standing. Clearly I was very wrong. Andy calling for the hit. Here comes Alex with his first stone. Nope. And nope. He's calling for a draw, actually. Going to the far side of the house. That's exactly where he wanted it. Nice corner guard. Again, not what I called. Should probably pay more attention. Anyway, here comes Jody with his second stone. Jay wants to guard that shot on the button that he just threw. Sweepers are dragging it, trying to hold that line. It's looking pretty nice. Very nice guard thrown by Jody. And he wants to come in behind that guard.
Yes! Yes, all the way! All the way, come on!
Up if you get up, up! Yep, sweep it. Get now! Yeah, hard. Hard, 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 hard. Hard, all the way, guys, all the way. All the way, guys, all the way, hard.
They can pull that in a little bit further. That's going to be pretty nice. Comes Mark Lawrence for his first shot of the third end. It's a touch wide. Might have to come over quite a bit. I'm sure he still wants to keep that shot on the button pretty well protected. It's going to graze off of the shot rock, and it's going to sit right next to the shot rock. Or it's going to graze off the yellow rock and sit in the forefoot next to shot rock. So Andy just wants to tap that out of the forefoot. He's calling for back house weight. Hell of a little bit of a catcher if Josh throws it as back house weight. Here it comes, looks outside. And a lot harder than back house weight. If it finishes, it might get a chip. It might chip a piece of it, and it does. Okay, not too bad. He took off the second stone. Now they're sitting 2-3. Jay wants to put one up front, guard that shot rock. It's pretty well protected. Got that high red guard that Jody threw, and then we have the yellow stone in the forefoot. So if they can put another guard up there, it'll be pretty well protected. Comes Mark's second stone. It's a nice guard, right where he wanted it. Scoring update on sheet C. Schenectady kicked the extra point, and now they are up 7-0 after 2. Also got a scoring update on sheet D. Trini stole 1 in the second. They're up 4-0 over Merrimack Valley. Okay, Ardsley peels the guard that Mark peels one of those guards off. Looking in a lot better shape now. Jay's going to have to put that back.
Wide open table like that, or you want to put here?
Yeah. Good convincing by the rest of the team there. Jay wanted to go to the other side, but yeah, from this vantage point, they've got an easy run back hit if they don't guard that up. So Jeff is going to put that guard back and continue to protect the shot stone on the button. Here comes Jeff Lee's first stone. Looks narrow, looks quite narrow. Mark and Joey are holding it, and they do. Starting to snap over again. Yeah, and it fell off the table. That really didn't guard that all that much. Eaton looking to capitalize now on the guard that broke over. Comes Ray Omer, the vice skipper, Ardsley's first stone in the third end. Narrow coming out of his hand. Andy calling really hard for line. That's going to fall off. Let's see what's going to wind up here. Ha. How do you like that? Red got their guard, although a shot too late. Vantage point, it looks pretty well protected. Jay wants to put another one in there, though, just to be safe. I do like that call as well.
Right here's good, right here's good. In the house. Tap it back. A little further out.
Try to keep you what's going on, keep you what's up to date on sheet A. The second end did conclude. They have not hung the score, so I'll have to find out pretty soon. Well, they're going to be concluding on the third end, so I'm sure they'll be hanging both scores. So when that end is over, we'll keep you posted on the game between Hamilton from Curling Club of Virginia and Machino from Philly. Jeff puts a nice stone there. It's right where Jay wanted it. It's going to be very difficult for Eaton to get that shot rocked. Looking just to peel in some more stuff away.
Don't want to run it back, though. Got to miss it. You know, got to hit it here. Good weight.
Andy calling for a pretty firm hit on that guard in the center. Something crazy might come out of it. Who knows? They did hang the score on sheet A. Philly got their deuce. The score is now 2-1. Philly over Curling Club of Virginia through 2 ends. Okay. Pretty nice shot by Ardsley. It opens the center up a little bit more. There weren't a whole lot of options for Ardsley, so I think all in all that was a pretty good conclusion. Jay wants to put more mess in the front, again, to keep that stone protected. They've done a nice job of holding onto that shot stone. Put a lot of stuff in the front. They've caught a couple of breaks too from Ardsley, but Jay's been calling a really nice end here. Here we got Jay Atkinson, skip for Spartacus from the Potomac Curling Club, throwing his first stone in the third end. Looking at a center guard. Okay. And the 12-foot line was great. It's going to be a tricky piece of curling to try and get that one hit out.
Very nice.
I think Adams looking to do that. Sheet A just concluded their third end with Curling Club of Virginia getting reduced. The score is now 3-2. Curling Club of Virginia in the Hamilton rink over Philly, the Machino rink.
Yes. Whoa.
Comes Andy Eaton with his first stone, the third end. Skip for Ardsley.
Line's good. Let's wait.
Line's good. No. Got a curl. Got a curl.
All the way. Come on. All right.
Hold myself.
All right. Up.
Ooh, just barely crosses, gets past that guard. And it's going to flash through. Tough break for Ardsley.
6, 7.
That would have wicked off of that guard. It might have not. It might have been close to where he wanted it. But Dems the breaks. Jay wants the exact same shot. Probably a little higher would be nice. A little to the left of the center line would be nice. I think that's what he's calling for, given the ice that Jeff is giving him down on the far house.
Something in the house.
Okay, that's fine. Way inside again.
There goes Jay Atkinson with his second stone. Jeff wants the sweepers on it for line. It's looking pretty light too. Oh, we've got to work really hard to get that over, and that's not going to move either. Not a lot was accomplished. They're going to make it? They are not going to make it. Ooh. Sweepers were on that pretty early. A good try, though, by Jody and Mark. From this terrible vantage point, I'd say they just barely missed it. Andy's going to try the same shot again. Let's try and tuck a little piece of it. If he wicks, too, that may not be. If he wicks off of that rock in the 8-foot, could get something out of it, too. Rock has got to come over. Yeah, he's playing the wick off the yellow now. See what this is going to happen here. Nothing. Okay, and Spartacus steals one in the third. I think they were guarding that shot rock for virtually the entire end. So, pretty nice steal by Spartacus. That makes the score 2-1 through 3. It went from top 8 to 3 foot to just get it over the hog line. I know it's not commonplace for the skip to call the weight, but I think that was kind of necessary. Andy's looking to come around that center guard, which was supposed to be a 3 foot, which was supposed to be a 3 guard. That looks down 2. Sweepers on it really hard. The way they've been sweeping, I wouldn't be surprised if they get it to touch paint. I mean, the Ardsley guys have just been sweeping very, very well this game. Almost. That's a nice tight 3 guard. Jay wants to come behind that. And rightfully so, since once again he doesn't have the hammer. Ardsley giving him a guard. Here comes Jody's second shot again. We're just looking for the come around. And the rock is away.
Needs to curl a little. Line better. Wait, don't we now? Yep. Yep. Whoa, right.
This is looking like a pretty nice shot here if it manages to get through that, past that guard, which it does, just squeaks by. That's a beautiful draw by Jody Ratty. Right on the tee line. Nice shot. He's going to finish nice too. He's going to, if they can really pound this, they're going to get a really nice corner freeze. Leaves it just a touch short. I think red is still shot, but it is kind of close. Okay, Jay thinks red is shot as well. He's going to call for the center guard. Played the identical strategy that he did in the last end. See how this one shapes up. It's looking pretty nice if he puts his guard in the right spot. Although if he puts it a little too far to the right side of the center line, he could run that back. Red to yellow and pop the red out. So placement is vitally important here for Mark Lawrence's first stone in this 4th end.
Line's good. I like it. Line's good. 2 is good. Good shot. Whoa. Whoa. Never. Don't touch it.
This is finishing pretty well. Again, as long as it stays, it's going to go to the wrong side of the center line. Update on sheet C. The Smith rink is on the board. They got a single in the 3rd. That makes the score 7-1, Schenectady over Potomac. Scoring update on sheet D. Utica puts another steal of 1 on the board. They're up 5-0 against Merrimack Valley in the 3rd end. Through 3 ends, excuse me. Here comes Josh Friedman's first rock for the Ardsley rink. Looking pretty light. Looking very light. Although again, Ardsley sweepers are really pulling that in. Good try. Does open it up a little bit for their next shot, but I'm sure Jay's going to try and guard that up because it's pretty well exposed.
Make it a 3. Make it a 3, guys. Okay. It looks like a 3 as it is.
You like that, or you want to put a guard? I just like a guard.
Yeah. Good communication. Everybody likes the guard. I like the guard. But I'm here calling the game, not playing. As alas, I have aged out. Yeah, good point by Jay Atkinson here. This is what you call a home ice advantage. We know here at Potomac when you play pretty far outside of the sheets, it's going to be kind of swampy. Or out to the cheese, as Jay said, which I've never heard before, but I like it, so I'm going to use it. So here goes Mark Lawrence's shot. Again, looking to guard that shot rock on the 4-foot.
Take a look. Take a look. All right, Jeff, I got it. Take a look.
Jay was spot on there. Great, great, great call just to let the sweepers know. Take a look. You've got plenty of weight. Leave it alone. Okay. It's not bad, but if they did take a look a little earlier, they probably would have gotten it a little higher, and higher would have been better than deep. Because now you got a potential tap instead of the hit on the red. However, we've got to see what Ardsley does. You know, you have to make the shot. This is a 500 men's Bonspiel. You can't guarantee every shot is going to be made, like you see by the pros. He's got two options here. Again, he can try and I don't think he can hit that red on the forefoot. I like tapping the yellow a little bit better. So Andy's really going to have to think on his feet here when the rock is down, and he's going to see which play he wants to make. Sweepers are on it. Seems pretty outside to me. He could run the yellow into the red. Not enough though. Good thinking by Andy. That was probably going to be plan C. Obviously, Josh didn't want to throw it so hard that it was going to tap that out. So yeah, Jay's going to throw up another guard. Got to put one probably around where the red hot blue sign is. And, you know, the way things are sitting up right now, if they do throw the guard over here, Andy can easily come around to the other side of the house and try to draw and get a piece of the button, get a piece of the forefoot. So that's a much better shot. Very nice shot by Jeff. It's going to make things very difficult for Ardsley to try to get rid of that. He's really seeming to look over in those two stones over there, the red shot and the yellow possibly for the tap. Yeah, that's the right call. Good call, and he's going to try to draw in. Call the draw. This is the first shot for vice skip Ray Ulmer here in the fourth end.
Careful. Lots of room. Lots of room.
Yes.
Andy calling sweepers on pretty quickly.
Yes. Sweep.
It's really starting to come over.
Yes. Yes.
Ooh, it's going to crash on that guard. And now, unfortunately, that kind of puts a corner guard there for that draw. That was an unfortunate result for Ardsley.
Sitting is good. Short is okay too. Jeff.
Jay's eyeing up a potential hit that Ardsley could have. I personally don't think they have it, but I still like throwing something up in the front. And that's what he's going to do. Jeff calling the game like he's the skip. He's still the vice skip. Don't forget that, Jeff. And yes, it is your shot. Can't say there wasn't a lack of communication on what shot to call, but there was really a lack of who was actually going to shoot it. So they're going to put another one up front. comes Jeff Lee, second stone, the vice skip for the Spartacus rink out of the Potomac Curling Club.
Gotta be over. I don't care how deep, it just has to be over.
Jody and Mark getting on hard. Okay. The way they were sweeping, like they thought it was just going to barely get over the hog line.
Freeze for this. Okay?
Okay. Pretty nice guard there by Jeff. Pretty close to where he wants it. Andy eyeing up his options now that he has that corner guard on the one side of the house. He's got to go back to the tap or the hit on the left side. Oh. Here's Andy's actually going to try and run that guard back into the pile.
Think it needs it. Go.
Not a bad call, actually.
Do it. All the way, guys. All the way. All the way. All the way. All the way. All the way.
Sure we have many opinions on the chat right now. Sorry I can't converse with you all.
Just take the one. You can get down to it right here. I like that though too.
Yes.
Okay, here comes Ray's
Yes.
second shot. Andy calling on him really hard for line. Now he brings him up. Just going to hit the wrong side of that guard, spill it away. Wager Jay would put that right back. And that's what he's going to do. So you want to leave it nice and high. So if you leave it deep, then you could kind of call almost the same shot that Andy wanted to call the first time. And that is run that deep guard back. But if you leave it high, it's going to make it a lot harder to run that guard back into that pile.
Yes.
Again, it could be a little bit tricky here with the weight, given they're playing this so far outside of the sheet. And there's not much action out there either. So Jeff's really going to have to watch the line here. And Jay's got to make sure it at least gets over.
Down to the button. All right. Off the back row.
There goes Jay Atkinson's rock for the Spartacus ring. No. Okay, that's not too bad. It's a little too far outside, though. I think Andy can go for it. At least go for that tap. Run the red into the yellow and tap it into the button. While they're calling the shot, I want to announce another scoring update on sheet A. The Philly ring, Machino just got one in the fourth, so he and Hamilton from the Curling Club of Virginia are tied at 3. Ray calling for line really hard. They're really trying to hold that. It's going to be close. It's going to be really close. Oh, this is going to be pretty. The weight on this looks great. Tappa. Ooh. I think he got it. That's really close, but I think the Ardsley rink are now shot. Great shot by Andy. And a nice line call by Ray Ulmer. And I know I've said this many times already, but wonderful sweeping by Ardsley / Potomac front end. They held that line really, really well. So here comes Jay Atkinson's second shot, the second stone for the Spartacus rink. Here are the final stones of our fourth end. Again, this is an A event matchup. Winner goes to the quarterfinals. If you could rub that off and slide it over, that wouldn't be too bad. It didn't really move too much. That leaves Andy for another opportunity here to maybe run that yellow into that red, pop that out, and guarantee him two. Again, it's really tricky when you're playing here at the Potomac Curling Club that far outside. You don't know how much turn it's going to go. You really need to compensate for that. And I think Jay was just a hair outside, because again, it didn't really turn as much as he thought it would. It didn't turn as much as I thought it would either. So Andy just eyeing it up with Ray about what side he needs to hit it on. To me, you just really need to get most part of it. You know, you hit to the inside, it could pop away. You hit it to the outside, it could pop away. You hit it on the nose, it could pop away. You know. So Andy's throwing the same line he did before. Still too close to call who's actually shot rock here. I think it's yellow. But I was in the exact same circumstances last night, and I was way off, so I'm not going to really trust my judgment right now. Here goes Andy Eaton with the hammer in the fourth end.
No! No! Yes! Yes now! Yes now!
Ray calling the line sweeper is really going hard at it. Yet again, this is almost a replay of the last shot. They are by it. Here it comes again. It's going to tap the yellow into the red, pop it out. Nice shot. That is a deuce for Ardsley. Two beautiful shots by the skip Andy Eaton for the deuce. That makes the score now 3-2. Ardsley over Spartacus through four ends.
Whoa, 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 touch. Whoa for line. Whoa for line. That was good. That was worth it. Finally got that roast up. He was mocking us.
All right, everybody, we're back in the top of the fifth end here. Eaton rink throwing a center guard. And it falls away, it turns it almost to a corner guard. Judy's going to throw a corner guard to the other side of the sheet. Oh, he wants it in now. And he leaves it up in front of the hog line for a high corner guard. Andy Eaton wants to put a center guard again.
I think we're going to get two more ends. Top mouse.
Here goes Alex Zix, second stone in the 5th. Scoring update on sheet C. Schenectady scores 1. That makes the score 8-1 through 4. The center guard is starting to die off a little bit too. Sweepers are holding it as best they can, but it's going to slide to the left side of the center line again. It's going to go off of the first shot that he threw and turn back into a center line guard. So a little break there for the Ardsley rink. Jay wants to call Jody's second shot behind the corner guard that he just threw. Jody lines it up. Out he goes. The rock is away. Sweepers are on it for weight. Jay said they've got plenty of space. Jody thinks it's 2. Sweepers are going to try and change that as best as they can. Jay's on it to help him out. They're going to get it in. They're going to get that in. They're going to leave it just short. Good try by the Spartacus rink. Andy wants to put another one up front. He's calling for a biter or higher. This is Josh Friedman, actually a Potomac player, sparing today, throwing second stones for the Ardsley ring. Looking to throw a center guard, or a guard at least to the right side of the center line, just to throw some more junk up in the front. That one's going to snap over as well. It's going to hit the center guard that was previously thrown. And guard that up as well. So we got 3 guards for yellow, 2 guards for red. Jay's going to try and get rid of some of that stuff, open the house up for him. Remember, they do have the hammer after Andy got his deuce in the 4th. Scoring update on sheet D. Utica continues to steal, stealing 1 more point against Merrimack Valley. That score is 6-0 through 4 ends. Well, that one's starting to fall off the table as well. Sweepers are trying to hold it just to peel that center guard away. They just tap it, but it manages to squeak in off of 2 stones behind most cover, sitting in the 4-foot. It was not the call, but the result was nice. Here comes Josh Friedman's second shot of the 4th and 5th end. Spartacus is sitting 1 off of that wicky-wacky woo that was just thrown by Mark Lawrence. This is settling pretty nicely. He's going to get a piece of this. Tap it back. Really nice shot by Josh Friedman. It's primarily exposed. Jay wants to go for it. Ideally, he'll hit across the face and sit behind that center guard. Josh's shot really changed the strategy that Jay was going for here. So now instead of trying to open up the center, you've got to chase the shot stone at the center of the house. Here goes Mark Lawrence with his shot. Sweepers are on it really hard for line. He's doing a pretty nice job holding it. It's going to be close. I think it's going to wick off that guard, though. And it does. It opens it up, though. That's not a bad shot. It forces Eaton to put a center guard up there. Well, with the way the center guards have been snapping to that side of the house, it's going to be pretty unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. Andy calling for the center guard. Again, this is Ray Ulmer, the vice skip for Ardsley, his first shot of the 5th. Like Andy's given it a little bit more ice than previously, which is the wise move from, again, what I've been saying, how it's been really snapping and finishing over. It looks narrow. I don't think this is going to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. It really didn't do much. Again, it kind of fell off the table. That one's going to wind up in the 12-foot. It's a scoring stone, but it doesn't do much else. Jay's going to go for the hit and flop to the side behind all those guards. This is Jeff Lee's first stone of the 5th and the vice skip. Scoring update on sheet A. The Hamilton rink from Curling Club of Virginia gets a single. That makes the score 4-3 over Philly through 5 ends. There goes Jeff with his first. He's going to hit. I don't know how much it's going to roll, though. Looks like it's going to hit it pretty square. Oh, no. Look at that. Great broom claw. Great line call by Jay. Great hit by Jeff. That rock is completely behind cover. You can draw to it. It's just slightly past the tee line. That's what Andy's going to try and do. A nice job holding that line by Jody and Mark. I thought from my vantage point it was going to come over and hit it too thick and not slide over. They did a nice job holding that line. And the result couldn't have been better. Nice couple of ends. Jeff has been shooting really nicely. He had a rocky start in the first, but he's been throwing some nice guards, a couple of nice hits. Ardsley's going to leave that draw short. Essentially a centerline guard. I agree, that's a slightly more aggressive call, but yeah, sure, you can absolutely guard that or draw into the house on the other side. Hit and roll works as well. Take off, so you'd be sitting 1-2, and both of your 1 and 2 stones are wide open. You can't double them out so far from each other, and you've got the hammer, so yeah, by plugging that up, you would be taking away your draw for 2. So I think this is the right call for the Spartacus ring. Let's see if Jeff can duplicate his shot from before. Rock is away. Team's on it for line. Now they're coming up. It's going to hit. It's going to hit it pretty flush on. So Spartacus is sitting 1, 2, and 3. Rocks are pretty well spread out. The third stone is sitting in top 12. The second stone is sitting in the back 12, just biting the back 8. Shot stone sitting T-line on the 4-foot.
What do you want, it top 4?
Andy with his first shot. They're going to try and play that draw again that Ray was light on on his second stone. Here it comes. They're going to crash on that guard. It is going to crash on that guard, and it's going to skate in. It's going to open up the ice too for Spartacus. Spartacus is probably going to play a 12-foot guard would be nice because it's scoring and taking the draw away. And even if they don't get it in, if they could put it up as a nice tight 3 guard, that would force Ardsley probably either to take that off or to try and, I don't know, try to pick off something else. Because if, let's say, Jay puts a nice tight 3 guard on there where it's barely touching, and Ardsley can't capitalize on it or can't get rid of it, Jay can just hit it thin and split them both out and score. Potentially 5. So you want to have it nice and high. Well, you want to have it high but not too high, and you want to have it deep but not. You want to have it in but not too in. So 12 foot's ideal. Conservative move is keeping it high to take the draw away. More aggressive is to keep it a little bit deeper. But you don't want it too deep because you don't want Ardsley to hit off of it and roll around. Didn't really accomplish much. Adams got the exact same shot as he did before. I'm sure that's what he's going to call. Spartacus sitting 3 with the hammer. That's some pretty open ice. This is a pretty big shot for Andy Eaton. Stone is away. They like the line, so the sweepers are running probably for a bit of weight. From here it looks pretty good, but we've already established how I can't call weight from behind the glass. Where's that guy gonna go? Skating, 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 skating. Jeff is really gonna try and push that through, and he's going to cut it down by 2. So it wasn't the exact shot that they wanted, but probably a very good, one of the better case scenarios he could have come up with. So Jay's got at least 1. He's going to be drawing for 2. He's got the backing. Probably the exact same line that Andy did. He'll get his deuce and take the lead. Here's Jay Atkinson. Here's the hammer in the 5th end. Jay looking to draw for 2. It's kind of hanging out. Now there it goes. Oh no, is he going to run off of that? No, he's got it. Oh, that's a nice hit. Or a nice little tap. He's still going to get his deuce though. I figure if that was been a touch heavier, could have been a very slim chance that that could have popped out and they would have gotten 4. But all in all, they got their deuce. That makes the score now 4-3, Spartacus through 5 ends.
Quick to the hat. Quick to the hat. Hey, we're tight, time-wise. Quick.
Jay making a very good point here. They're running a little low on time. We do have timed games given all the games that we're going to be playing this weekend. So the way the rule works is once the alarm goes off for your time, you get to finish that end and then play 1 more. So they're going to try and squeak in 8 ends, but Jay's right. You got to be pretty quick to get into the hack. Every second counts when you're playing a tight game with a time limit.
Where? Two's okay. Line's a little tight.
I'll shoot myself in the face with a pen.
All right, well,
Wah, wah, wah.
Yes! Yes!
Jay's going to call a come behind, or come around behind those 2 center guards, 1 for each color. Jody's second stone is away. Looks narrow. Jay wants the sweepers on it really fast. Trying their best to hold it.
Dump it.
And it's not going to do anything. He was narrow from the start.
Okay.
Another center guard. And he wants to do the come around now. Race into the house.
Yep. Up, then up. Yes. Up, 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 up.
This one's finishing pretty nicely. And Ardsley gets in,
That's right.
biting the 8-foot. Chomping the 8-foot. That's mostly in the 8-foot. Scoring update on sheet C. Team Smith gets another single. Through 5 ends, the score is 8-2 Schenectady. That's the Scott Brennan rink from Schenectady.
I don't mind sitting right there.
Just on guard, okay? Guard, regard.
Jay calling for a corner freeze on the shot that just came in. Maybe they can use that for the second shot and pop it open. Rocks away.
Never. Never, never, never. Never, 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 never.
It's light. It's light, come on guys. Back.
That's going to get swept through the house. I don't think it's biting. I think all it is just a tripping hazard.
God. For one. God.
And he wants a center line guard, another one, to protect the shot stone, even though he does have the hammer. Kind of wonder why he wouldn't be putting another one in.
Yes.
Although if he did get a 12-foot, that would be pretty nice, but I don't think it's going to make it to the 12-foot. This one's fallen off too. It's over curling. It's going to crash on that red, split him open.
Pretty tight line.
Like ripping that off. Same shot. Okay, fine.
Yep.
Same way, free up. If it gets in the house, it's okay.
Jay wants to call the same shot. Looks like he was thinking about ripping one off, but Locke decided to try to convince him, and he succeeded.
Line's okay. Whoa. Whoa, close. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Sweep line. Sweep line.
If this comes over just a touch more, this is going to be exactly what they were looking for. This is going to be a really nice shot by Mark Lawrence. It's going to roll, roll, roll behind that cover. Kind of. It's partially open. That's a pretty good shot by Mark. Really nice weight.
Good shot. Take it out.
Andy wants to get rid of it.
Take it out.
But what that did do, even if they are able to hit this out, it did pop out the Ardsley stone as well, so Jeff can go hop on it and knock it out on his first shot. So that was a really nice shot by Mark Lawrence.
Up. Up. Yes.
Ardsley trying their best to hold that line, but it's going to crash on that guard, making Mark's shot look even better. Although that's going to roll in to shot stone. What a what a break. Ardsley's now sitting 1-2. That is shenanigans. Unless you're rooting for Ardsley. But nonetheless, it's part of the game.
Back four.
Update on sheet D. Merrimack Valley is on the board with a single. That makes the score now 6-1. Utica, that's the Citrini rink, over Merrimack Valley, skipped by Church.
Where?
He has a first name. Let's find out what that is.
Line's good.
Nathan Church. Okay then.
Yep. Whoa. Yes. Yep. Whoa.
Let's also look, it's got to just get a piece of it. Is it going to, oh, it's going to fly. It's going to just barely get by it. If it had even gotten a small piece of that, it would have been a completely different shot. Andy Eaton sitting 2. He wants to throw a guard up there. Try and take that away again. Really good try by Jeff. He almost had that. Comes Ray Ulmer's rock. Again, looking for a center line guard to take away the draw possibility, the tick possibilities that Spartacus has been throwing for the past couple of shots. It's going to be well placed. Jay eyeing up an angled tap or an in-off off of there, spilling it in.
Straight draw, you want to try to roll in off of this?
That's fine.
Draw. Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay. Good communication there by Jeff and Jay. Jeff saying we'll go for the draw, but if we're heavy, then we can do the plan B, which would be to play off of our red stone in the 8-foot and roll into the button.
Nice shot.
Still love the peel, but go right here. Line's good. Keep it up. Take it only. Come here. Yep. Nice shot, Deuce. Yeah.
This rock is really starting to move. Mark and Jody are trying their best to handle it, and it's going to fall off. That took a really hard turn. Also really light. I mean, that barely got to the 3 guard. His line was looking pretty nice, but it just didn't have the weight. If he was probably throwing T line to maybe back 4, I think he could have had I think he might have actually gotten that, because he was on the broom, and Jay did say he liked his line when it came out of his hand. I think Jeff was just thinking draw too much rather than, you know, with the potential of the in-off. Sometimes when you have that battle in your head about what kind of weight you're going to throw, you kind of get a short circuit and it winds up being exactly what you didn't want to do. I know, I've been there many times. So Andy's calling for Ray to throw another guard.
Yes, line. Yes, line. Yes.
I think. I wasn't paying much attention to it. I was watching some of the other sheets. A did conclude their 6th end. They haven't hung the score yet, but we'll let you know right when they do. Oh, and they're going to play the in-off, and they're going to play it with success. Really nice shot by Ray. That's exactly what the Spartacus rink was trying to do. And Ardsley just beat him to the punch. So Ardsley's sitting 3 with the hammer and running low on time. We're likely looking at a 7-end game for this game here, because they're down to about a minute left, and if they don't finish this within that minute, they're only going to be able to get 7 ends in. Which, although it could be considered unfortunate, at the same time we've got so many other games to play. We've got to continue to keep the pace going. I mean, I can speak from experience. I remember playing one at the Dykes. It was supposed to start at 11:30. It started at 12:15 in the morning. We were off the sheet by 2:30. I kind of want to avoid that jam as the day goes along, because that's what's going to happen when you get to the end of the day. You're going to get 30, 45-minute delays. Sheet A got another single, so that was a single by the Philly rink. The score is now tied at 4. They started their 7th end, so they will get 8 ends in. The score is 4-4. Again, we're in the beginning of the 7th end. That's Charlie Brown ringing the cowbell, letting everybody know that time is up, so you've got to finish this end. You play one more. Andy looking to throw a top 12. Preventing some sort of maybe heavy draw coming across the face with that yellow stone and plopping in. That's what Jay would want to throw here. Not an easy shot, but if Andy throws his rock on the 12 foot, it's going to make it downright impossible. Probably force Jay to come to the other side of the house and try to pluck off at least one of those stones on the left side of the center line that is biting the 4 foot. But again, you got to watch out maybe jamming on that red stone in the back. So let's see what Andy does here. Again, we're looking for a 12 foot just to make a heavy draw for Jay to wick in. Hard to do. Got to come over.
Yeah, bring that.
He was heavier than expected, but what's that going to do? Okay. Now Jay can play that in off. He's got a tight port and draw through too. I don't know if the angle's there, but what he should do is just try to play off of that yellow stone that was popped out by Andy's rock, the one that he was trying to guard. I've seen Jay make these before. So if you're rooting for Potomac, and even though I'm the announcer, I should be unbiased, but I am rooting for Potomac because I'm a member of the Potomac Curling Club. Let's hope we can make it. Here comes Jay's. Yeah, look, narrow coming out of his hand. They're holding it, but that's got to. It also looks kind of down. They're trying their best to hold it. It's going to be close. It's going to be close, and it's going to rub off of that red guard. Oh, man. He was maybe just a touch heavier. I think they could have held that line. That's a tough miss for Potomac. Ardsley's got at least 4. Potential for 5, potential for 6. If he comes in with a pretty heavy guard, pops that yellow in the back 4 foot, pushes the red one out, they could get 6 and probably end this game. Nonetheless, even if they do have, I mean, they're going to have 4, so that'll put them up at least 3 with 1 to go. Stranger things have happened. I mean, this is a 5 and under spiel, so, you know, even if you're down 4 with the hammer coming home being the 7th end, thanks to the time limit, it's still really anybody's game. think I've heard of stories where somebody was down 9 with 2 ends to play and won the game. Because he's got a lot of pro side misses too. I mean, if he leaves it high. No, wait, he's got the hammer. He doesn't want to leave it high.
Okay, you gotta watch crashing guards, though.
So, Ray reminding him to watch crashing the guards. Personally, I don't like to be saying that because then that's the last thing I'm going to be thinking of. And then I'm going to crash into the guards.
Nothing, let it curl.
He's got plenty of space.
Let it curl. Let it curl. Nothing
He
at
needs
all.
4. He needs to just
Nothing at all.
get the 8 foot.
Nothing at all.
It's going to rub off of that. It's going to rub off of this. He's going to get his 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay, so he's got his 4. That makes the score now 7-4. We're through 6 ends, but given the time constraint, this 7th end is going to be the last end. Again, a 3-point deficit for Spartacus with the hammer in the last end. It's still anybody's game. Of course, you're feeling better if you have the 3-point lead in the last end, but this is not by any means over. Just, you know, catch a couple of breaks, make your shots. That's the most important thing you can do. And maybe if they can get 3, we'll be playing an 8-end game. That's going to go through. That's a wise move by the Ardsley rink. Don't want much for Spartacus to play off of or go behind. Jay's right, it has to be a guard. It's got to be a stone that cannot be removed by Ardsley. So Jody needs to make sure it can go over and make sure he has the weight enough so the sweepers can drag it close to the house but not in. Even though this may be just the first shot of an end, this is going to be a pretty important shot. Sweepers are getting on it now. I think weight's a little bit more important than line here. They're hitting it pretty hard. It's over. It's going to use more as a guard. Oh, hey, we are shaking on sheet C. I did see Scott Brennan hit a really beautiful double. I think that was the hammer. Doesn't really matter whether or not they scored a point. If they did, they were up by 7, and obviously if they didn't, they were up by 6. So Schenectady is going to move on in the A-event bracket, and Smith from Potomac, all playing in their first Dykes, is going to move to, I believe, the B event now. So that final score is 8-2 or 9-2 through 6, Schenectady over Potomac. Even though it looks like I'm looking at the C event, the C sheet here. Schenectady is a very experienced, very talented team. I think they're one of the favorites to win this whole kit and caboodle. But Smith held his own. I mean, after they had that pretty disastrous first end, they just traded singles, which was not a bad effort by Smith. They have a lot less experience than Schenectady, but they did a nice job today. So let's give them a round of applause. They're coming into the warm room right now. We're also shaking on sheet D. Utica, who was winning death by 1,000 cuts with a 3, a single, and a single, is going to come out victorious against Nathan Church's team from Merrimack Valley. And again, that was a B event game. So Merrimack Valley is going to move down to the C brackets. Trina is going to continue on through to the B. Let's get back to the action here on sheet B. Jody's been successful by throwing both of his guards. See 3 rocks out for Ardsley. Jay's going to try to get Mark to come around to the center guard that Jody threw. Again, when you're down 3 with the hammer, every single shot is as important as the previous one. Because if he manages to get this in, they're going to have to chase. And he manages to get it out, or if he flashes or leaves it high, then it's up to Ardsley just to pick off whatever they want to pick off. This is finishing really nice. And Mark Lawrence comes through with a beautiful draw behind cover into the forefoot. That's exactly what you needed to do there. Nice shot by Mark. So Andy up 3, again, wants to just get rid of stuff. Just peel off as much as you possibly can. Here goes Josh Friedman, Potomac player, with his first shot. Rock is away. And that's going to flash. Okay, now Jay needs to capitalize here. He's going to try and have Mark draw behind that corner guard, put 2 in the house behind cover. So Mark is in the hack after throwing a beautiful first draw. Here comes the second stone. Again, looking to come around that corner guard on the left. Looks narrow. They're trying to hold it. I think Jay's probably decided, do I tap or do I not? I don't know. They held the line, but with the sweeping, it's going to make it skid on through, and it is. That was, you know, on one hand, if they don't sweep, they're going to crash. On the second, on the other hand, if they do sweep, they're going to have it continue to glide through the house, and it's going to flash, and that's what happened. Still plenty of time and plenty of rocks for Spartacus to try to get back into this game. Ardsley just needs to take something off of the ice.
Yes, fine, yes, yes.
And they're going to be successful. They're going to peel off that guard. Spill theirs away. That's a nice shot by Ray Ulmer, device for the Ardsley Curling Club. Jay wants to come around that guard again. Now you got to put it in the house. All right, here comes Jeff Lee with his first stone of the end. Again, trying to come around that corner guard. It's got plenty of room. Sweepers are off of it too. It's kind of hard to judge what the weight is, but it looks a little hot. Here it comes. Going to try and finish it. It's going to stick around. Sit in the back 12. Andy's going to go for that shot stone. It's wide open on the forefoot. You want to spill the shooter as well, because you don't want to have Jay be able to hit that shooter and then roll behind the guards. I mean, you know, getting it out is a higher priority, but leaving it open doesn't do you a whole lot of good. And he's going to spill it away. That's a nice shot by Ray. Jay wants to split the house. That's the right call. Make sure you don't have a double. You hit a double, the game is practically over. So Jeff just needs to get this in the house. And they'll need to catch a break from Ardsley in order to continue to stay in this game. Jay's right, it does have to be paint. Sweepers are on it. pounding on it really hard. They really need to get this into the house. Jay's coming out to help. They're going to come up short. Oh, that was a worst case scenario for our for the club from Potomac. Might have been a slight error in judgment on weight there. We got an update on sheet A. The trend continues. Another single in the game. This one by Curling Club of Virginia, the Hamilton rink. The score is now 5-4 through 7. It's been a really tight game over there. We've had a steal of one, and then a single, and then a deuce, and then singles the rest of the way. That steal in the first was the only steal the entire game on that sheet A. It is looking really tight over there. We'll try to keep you informed on what's going on that sheet once this one concludes. Here comes Andy Eaton's first shot in the final end. Looking to hit that stone that is in the back 12, and it's going to flash. That's going to be a break for Potomac. Jay really needs to capitalize here and draw behind that corner guard. If he is successful, that would mean that Andy would be forced to hit that again, and Jay would either have a hit for 3 or a draw for 3. And then, you know, again, we're thinking here a 5 and under Bonspiel. You never know. Jay could draw into there. Andy could come up a little heavy or a little wide again. Whiff on that. Jay's got a draw in the win for 4. So it's going to kind of hold to what I had said earlier, that if you're down 3 coming home with the hammer, anything can happen, especially in a 5 and under Bonspiel. Whatever it is, it's making for some really good webcasting. So I'll make sure to thank both teams. Well, I'll probably just thank the winning team. I don't think the losing team will appreciate it. But regardless, here comes Jay in his first shot, looking to draw behind that corner guard. This has to stay in. If you are Spartacus or you're rooting for Potomac, you gotta keep this rock in the house. And if it's behind cover, that's perfect. Sweepers are not on it at all. Ray is antsy, looking to sweep it. Working, and that is going to just coast out of the house. And that's going to do it. That's a win for the club from Ardsley. After 6 ends, the score 7-4. Spartacus goes down to the B event, and the Ardsley Eaton rink goes to advance further into the A bracket. So with that being said, what we're going to do is we still have a game over on A. I'll give you the play-by-play as best as I possibly can. Philly has the hammer in the 8th, with Curling Club of Virginia having scored 1 in the 7th. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the second of the second rocks thrown by Philly. They have one on the tee line of the 4-foot. They have one on the left side of the biting the 8-foot. They have another one on the right side biting the 8-foot, and then they have another one on the right side in the back 8. So Philly's looking to score a whole bundle of points here. It's a lot to hit for Curling Club of Virginia. So this is the vice for Curling Club of Virginia throwing their first stone. Sweepers are on it really hard. It's going to wreck on the one red guard. So that's there's one guard out in this house, and that's actually belonging to the Curling Club of Virginia. The team was up by 1. Yeah, they got 4 in the house, and they're going to look to try and guard that up. The shooter that was thrown by Curling Club of Virginia actually did help out Philly quite well guarding up the house. It's looking pretty light and pretty outside. I don't know if this one's even going to, it's going to barely get over. It's going to be really high. This is going to leave Curling Club of Virginia, the Hamilton ring, just to kind of hit something. I mean, the center of the house is pretty well guarded, and they've got 4 stones that are all just piled up all over the place.
It's a heavy draw. Bump off this and roll the high.
That round of applause is for the 2 rings from the B game, the game you were all watching, ladies and gentlemen. Again, nice tight game there. Andy Eaton hit in a couple of really nice taps, and also scoring a 3 in the 6th. It's a sin they did run out of time. So with the rock from Curling Club of Virginia, all they simply did was just tap one of the yellows back behind the tee line. Philly is sitting 1, 2, 3, possibly 4, and they're only down 1. This is the vice skip for Curling Club of Virginia. I'm sorry, for Philly, excuse me. They're going to try and get rid of that red, and they do. They spill that one out. Now they have 5 in the house. Mr. Hamilton wants to freeze down to the rock on the back 8. Ideally, you want to, of course, get to the inside of that to have a better chance to maybe count. Wouldn't be too bad, too, if you came across the face of it and rolled in. That's going to be a difficult shot, but that's all they've got right now. I mean, worst case, I mean, you know, for them, at least you want to get, only have Philly come back and get 1, send it into an extra end. I don't think the other players playing on sheet A or the ice people or anybody else would like that, but the highest priority here is for the players. So here comes the skip from the Curling Club of Virginia with his first stone. Again, looking just to put one in the inside of where the rock is on the 8 foot in the back. Weight looks pretty good. This is looking really nice if they can drag it in. And they do a really, really pretty shot. That changes the course of the game significantly. That's Travis Hamilton throwing that shot. Curling Club of Virginia, that's a pretty new club here in the GNCC. It's nice to see an arena club playing with this level of success right now. So kudos to the Curling Club of Virginia for getting a couple of guys to come up here and play. For anybody who wants to know, we've got 15 participating clubs here at the Francis Dykes, and they are Albany, Ardsley, Broomstones, Bucks County, Cape Cod, Chesapeake, Curling Club of Virginia, Merrimack Valley, Nutmeg, Peterson, Plainfield, Philly, Potomac, Schenectady, Triangle, and Utica. Where are you, Pittsburgh? Surprised they didn't make it on here. But again, that's 15 clubs. That's a nice, nice balance here this season. So we like to see that. Alrighty, Philadelphia here, ready for their skip's first stones. They're sitting shot, but they're not sitting. They're not sitting. They're only sitting 1. Travis Hamilton's shot was a real beaut, and that cut them down significantly. He looks narrow. He's going to crash into that 1 red stone. No, he's not. He's going to crash into the yellow stone, and he's going to hit the shot stone out. But it doesn't change anything. It's still shot. It does give him an open. It does give Curling Club of Virginia an open draw to the center. Took that guard away. That was a tough break for Philly. So here comes Travis Hamilton with his second shot. And I think he's wearing those really sharp Asham saddle shoes as well. So I'm going to give him bonus points for that. They're nice shoes. Yeah, Adam agrees. Adam, the operator, agrees. Speaking of which, I want to thank Heather for running the cameras for that previous game, and Adam's taken over for our bonus coverage here on Sheet A. Thank you very much. Wouldn't it be a webcast without the camera operating? No, that would be just a boring play-by-play from yours truly. You can only hear me so much. Here comes Travis Hamilton with his second stone in the 8th end. Everyone in the warm room is glued to this game. It has been a tight game through the entire contest. Again, this is a B event game. Here it comes. It looks narrow. It's not going to do what they wanted to do. That's okay if you're rooting for Philly. So Philly needs to do pretty much the same shot they were going for previously, getting rid of that red rock. But this time they don't have the guard to deal with. So all he needs to do is just to either hit to the inside, or he needs a deuce to win the game. And if he gets a single, we're playing an extra one. Remember, I was saying before, I was kind of torn about who I wanted to win the game last night. Same thing here. You know, I want to root for the more local club from Virginia, but I'm a Philly native, so I'm also rooting for Philly. Anyway, here comes the rock down the ice. Sweepers are on it immediately, and now they're off. Kind of wonder how the line is. It's looking okay. Oh, is that going to be outside? And it is outside, and they catch a break, and we are tied at 5 going into an extra end. The trend continues. Again, after the second end, it's been nothing but singles from the team with the hammer. Wow, that's a tough break for Philly. So we're going to play an extra end here. Again, this is bonus coverage on Sheet A. This is a B event game between the Curling Club of Virginia and a club from Philadelphia. So, got a nice extra end time game here. Philly throwing their first stone, going to throw a corner guard. It's very wide. Nope, next attack's actually in the house. It's a little tough angle for me to see the far house on A since I'm standing here behind Sheet B. So I'll do the very best that I can. While we're waiting for those rocks to go, seeing Jim D'Onofrio and Ken Ray. Ken, the hardest working man, I think, in the GNCC. We want to thank them and all the other volunteers for working the ice this week. I saw Jason Kasparic working out there. I know Howard Griffin from the Potomac Curling Club is going to be working ice. So Curtis Brooks is also playing in this, who was playing on the Sheet C. Also been doing some ice maintenance. I think Brandon Corrali, Rhonda Brandt, all these members of the Potomac Curling Club, all wonderful volunteers. We just want to say thanks again for making the ice some of the best in the East Coast. Because without it, this would be, it just wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. So there's the second stone for the lead of Philadelphia. Sitting in the 8-foot. Mr. Hamilton's going to try and hit that sucker out. I'm not exactly sure who this is because there's 5 members of the Curling Club of Virginia team. It's It's worth mentioning their names in the air. The Curling Club of Virginia consists of Patrick Walsh, Samuel Sparks, Josh Leggett, Jonah Urick, and Travis Hamilton. Steve Machino rink consists of Mike Grady, Matt Harris, Zach Geary, and Steve Machino, the skip. So Philly's sitting 1 in the 12-foot. It's guarded accidentally by the Curling Club of Virginia. He's trying to put one more in the house. Again, trying to take something away from Curling Club of Virginia's rink here. For those of you just turning into a bonus coverage, probably looking to have the game on B, on the next game on B, which we'll get to once the ice is ready. We went to extra ends here on A. This is between the Curling Club of Virginia and the Philadelphia Curling Club. It's been an interesting scoring so far, actually throughout the entire game. After the second end, the team with the hammer just had singles, and they've been trading them off. Steve Machino had a chance to win the game, but was a bit wide on his final shot. But that shot was set up because Travis Hamilton on his first stone had a really nice inside draw against 5 and cut down 4 of those points. Here's a hit for Curling Club of Virginia. The ice is exactly, or the sheet is exactly the way it was 2 rocks ago. Here comes the second rock for Philadelphia. While that rock is going, we'll let everyone know that our featured game on B for the next draw number 9, is another Ardsley club, Shiner against Miley from Broomstones. Other games going on after this is going to be Folger from Triangle Curling Club against Mike Sell and the Ice Pirates from Potomac. On sheet C, another A event, Conley from Nutmeg and Steven Enixon from Potomac. That's an A event game. And then we have a B event game going on sheet D on the next draw. Glessner from Philadelphia and Fields. They're called the Mike White Experience. Not exactly sure what club they're from. If anybody in the chat wants to fill the S in with that, I would appreciate it. Anywho, let's get back to the action here on sheet A. Not much has changed. That's going to be a draw. Oh, where'd that one go? Okay, that's in the 12-foot. I think that's actually shot rock now. Not a bad shot by Curling Club of Virginia. We'll see what we can do here. This is Vice Skip's first rock for Philadelphia. This rock is thrown by, I just had it. Zach Geary. He's going to leave that a touch short, actually kind of guard that shot rock, but the house is so open, it's kind of irrelevant. Travis Hamilton here, who's contemplating what to do. He's going to try and throw a guard up there to take maybe the possible tap away. Doesn't do a whole heck of a lot because, like I said, the complete other side of the sheet is wide open. It's going to be really interesting to see how, you have a game like this, extra end, half of the sheet open, how the two skips call it. I mean, if you have years and years and years of experience, for you it might be blatantly obvious, but, and even for me, I'm not exactly sure completely what they want. But all in all, I think, the bottom line is the game is going to be won or lost who actually executes the shots here. So I'm going to stop rambling and let the team shoot. That shot was a flash by Curling Club of Virginia. Here comes Zach Geary with his second shot in the extra end. Looking to do what they tried to do previously, draw into that wide pocket on the left side of the sheet.
We will be starting the 11 a.m. draw on sheets B, C, and D momentarily. Sheet A has bonus Sterling, so you will be delayed. On sheet B, from Ardsley, it's Shiner, and from Brewstone, Miley. On sheet C, Nutmeg Conley, and on team none given, Phoenix. On sheet D, from Philadelphia, Western, and Mike White Experience, featuring Skip Field.
Okay, pardon the delay on that. We're just doing the announcements for the 11 o'clock draw. They're going to be heading out very soon. Philadelphia was successful in becoming shot stone, but they are kind of exposed, so Curling Club of Virginia is going to try and draw in the same spot, higher up, or at least, out count them and try to tuck themselves behind those corner guards over there. Sweepers are on it really hard for line and for weight. Now they're off. Now they're back on again. This is settling pretty well. They've really got to pull it in, though. I don't know if the weight's going to be there. And they just left it short. It's close. A good try. But it's still shot stone for Philadelphia.
B, C, and D, you are ready. Good curling.
Alrighty, so they're going to head out to the sheet, but I think we should stick to sheet A for right now. Even though B is the feature sheet, we are in an extra end in sheet A, so let's stick with this for right now. And once that game concludes, we'll jump right over to sheet B. Coming to the next draw, I'm also going to be accompanied by the lovely Melvin Shaw. We'll be doing our best Dan Fouts and Ian Eagle as possible. But, like I said, we've got a nice, we've got 3 games going on right now for B, C, and D, 2 A events, 1 B event, and we've got this extra